All right, here we've got workout B. We're going to follow the very same exact template as workout A. So it's 60-30 intervals and then 5 exercises repeated 3 times. Again, these workouts are about 22 minutes long, so keep that in mind as far as getting started with the warm-up on time. And secondly, so this is sandbag. So exercise number 1, we're doing some new movements, so there's definitely a learning curve. And as much as you can do in that 5-minute window to even get them to kind of practice some of the movement prep, sometimes just visually watching you isn't always as awesome as them actually practicing. So for instance, for this right here, we've got a sandbag shoveling exercise. So this is a pivoting move. And think about people, how well they dance. Probably not so awesome. So in pivoting, they need to be able to do this right here. Swivel the hips, rotate at the hips while pivoting the feet. And it needs to start with the feet. They need to be able to pivot, back to the middle, pivot, back to the middle. You got it, right? Practice your robot. But they're going to be stiff-legged and they're going to have much movement. But even in the warm-up, not necessarily the warm-up, but teaching demo, getting them to stand there and practicing how to pivot back and forth is going to be a prerequisite for getting in this. This is the sandbag shoveling. So they want to, little sandbag education, we did the horizontal handles in workout A. We're transitioning to the vertical handles. So thumbs forward on this. And then I'm going to essentially pivot, rotate, back and forth. Pivot, it comes outside the lead leg, back and forth, and then I can start to slingshot it out a little bit. And the big thing you'll notice on this, I would highly recommend you practicing this a few rounds, practice with different loads, practice with different weights so you get a sense of what your clients are going to feel. That the further the momentum takes you out, the more the abs are going to have to work harder. So they want to keep a braced core as they, boom, get tight, tight, tight. Now, depending on their conditioning, this can be really hard for 60 seconds to do that. It's like a version of a kettlebell swing for 60 seconds, and that can be tough. So what we do is we regress down at the halfway mark, or when they get smoked, into the rotational deadlift. So now, instead of, I'm still going to come that pivoting action, but I'm going to pivot, take it right down to about mid-shin, stand, pivot, rotate, rotate, and it's the same thing as a deadlift coaching cue. So eyes up, weight on the heels, but I'm pivoting and doing it on this side, and then that side. So that could be 2 things. That could be I start with the sandbag shoveling, and at the halfway mark when I get out of breath or smoked, then I go into the rotational deadlift. Or for beginners, they could just start with the rotational deadlift. And actually, if they can't get that, there's no way they're going to do the sandbag. So this is a core sandbag. That's 15 pounds. The black ones, again, are 40 pounds. Now, for people that are really struggle with it, because not only are we doing an awkward movement for them, and anytime like dancing is awkward for people, right? Why? Because they've got to be able to kind of move their hips. So it's just awkward, especially if you're not a dancer, which I'm not really a dancer. But that can be tough. Plus, the sandbag has a shifting nature. You can also regress them to a weight plate. A weight plate's not going to shift. It's a little bit easier, and they can kind of get the movement down back and forth. And the sand's not shifting back and forth, which is great for your core, not so awesome if you're trying to learn a movement. All right, for exercise number 2, this is the spotlight exercise for the workout. So in all of these workouts this month, 4 of the 5 stations in the circuit is going to be high energy, metabolic kind of conditioning style exercises. And then 1, we're going to slow down and work on pure strength. So in workout A, it was the Romanian deadlift. Today, it's going to be the push-up. So you can do this a couple different ways. I'm going to have all of my clients, when they come in, to get out their folder, mainly so they can practice their warm-up routine, but also in their folder is the gold medal training sheet, and this is what they should be working for. So we look at the push-up. For this, and all these stations are time-based except for this. This one is rep-based. So they're still going to work for 60 seconds because that's part of the circuit. But here the emphasis is not just to go for 60 seconds, it's to go for reps, and the reps are 10. They need to be able to do 10 dead stop push-ups, and then they move into climbers. So for instance, this right here, they would come, the dead stop is reaching out, block the feet together, not out like this, slide the hands up, push up, reach out, boom. That should take them, if they do 10, probably 35, 40 seconds of the minute, and then they finish the rest of the time into mountain climbers, okay? So it's a strength cardio superset or drop set, all right? If they can't do the full dead stop, which is like the bronze division, they could simply practice the dead stop modified push-up onto their knees, and then get a finish with climbers. What if they can't do 10 push-ups? That's okay. They do as many as they can. So if I can only do here 5 of those, then I finish the rest of the time with climbers. So whether it's 2 reps, 3 reps, 4 reps, or whatever, they do their set and then finish the rest of the minute with climbers. Once I can do it on the knees, I do it on the feet. Once I can do it on the feet, I come over here when I can do 10 dead stop push-ups, 10 atomic push-ups, and it's going to be the same drop set as the climbers. So you're going to get hooked in, and again, the atomic push-up is crunch, push-up. When I can't do any more of those, I shoot for 10. I go into TRX mountain climbers. If I get absolutely smoked and need to drop down again, unhook and finish with climbers on the floor. So the bottom line is each time they come through, they want to shoot for 10 reps, do as many as they can, finish the rest of the time with climbers. I would have the little dinger bells. Every time somebody gets a new PR, we ring the bell so the whole class knows that they're being successful. And at the end, have them track this over the course of the month. They can come right, they can get their sheet, it's got the push-up on it, and they can put how many they did. And of course, for someone who can't do any push-ups at all, their drop set would be standing chest presses, 10 reps, work to 10, and then finish with standing marches. So that's basically climbers and push-ups from a standing position. All right, it is amazing what you can come up with when you're just all alone in the gym and playing around. I'm going to call this the hollow body around the world. So what this is going to be, it's going to build upon the hollow body hold. So for beginners, they need to learn how to crunch up while keeping their chin tucked, so not there, which hurts their neck, and to get into this tuck position and hold right here, okay? So this is the tuck, hollow tuck, I should say, and then they go from here, they can rest into the bridge, breathe, and then get back into that hollow body tuck, and that way they're doing something for a full 60 seconds, because this can be hard. From there, we go into the hollow body hold. Again, now you're trying to get that crescent moon shape position. When they fatigue, they can drop down in a drop set into the tuck, or all the way back down and just bridge so that they're not wasting any time. Once they can master that, we get into this fun little thing that, again, I don't have a better name for it. I'm gonna call it around the world, because we're gonna take the medicine ball around the world. I'm gonna start with a small one. And weight is gonna play a prominent role, but also not necessarily weight, but the size of the ball, because we're gonna get into that hollow body position, like so, okay? Feet blocked together. I'm gonna bring it up, pass it underneath, go all the way around, nice and slow, come into 2 hands here, and sweep it around the body. Whoop. And you can see there's a big time balancing issue going with this. So weight's gonna play a prominent role, as I said, but also the size of the ball. So this is the same weight as a little one, but it's so much bigger, so it's gonna create a greater challenge just to balance the thing. It's more unstable, and I gotta take it underneath and around, and that is super challenging. So I've done it, and I haven't done it very well. It will smoke them for a minute. It does slow things down, but man, the core will be cut. For clients that can't get on the ground, this is a standing plank or standing hollow. Block the feet together, squeeze the knees, squeeze the abs, come up into the goblet stand, and this forces them to get nice and tall and strong, and they can do some goblet walks, they can do some heartbeat walks, and it essentially keeps them in a standing position. All right, for exercise number 4, we're working in the frontal plane and lower body with the lateral squat, lateral lunge variation. So, quick note, I would, in the warm-up, substitute the single leg deadlift for the lateral squat. And that way you can teach it. Level 1's lateral squat, level 2's lateral lunge, level 3 is lateral lunge to curtsy. So that gives you, they can practice some movement preparation in the workout. It'll cut down what you have to teach right here. So here we go. Here's the progression. We start with the lateral squat, and for those that need it, TRX assisted lateral squat. Same side, switch at the halfway mark, so their drop set is going to be dropping from one side to the next. So a little bit more than hip width apart, actually double hip width apart, and I push back with the hips, vertical shin, knee and ankle in alignment, reach out to counterbalance. No And knee coming forward, also a no. Push back through the heels, repeat. Push back. You want to try to get this trail leg completely straight and even work into rotating the toe up to the ceiling to get greater depth. Level 2, we bring the feet together, lateral lunge. Push back to the middle. I do all the reps on the same side, switching at the halfway mark. Level 3, we go loading progression. So in the warm-up, you can do a curtsy as level 3 integration. This is going to be loading. So we're going to take a kettlebell from the top, and I'm going to start feet parallel, lunge, push back fast, lunge, push back fast, switch legs at the halfway mark. If someone can't do anything, any lunging whatsoever, they've got the bracelet for the lunging exercise, then put them into some battle rope hinging and just let them work some side to side battle ropes. It'll get the heart rate up, it's metabolic, and they'll feel like they're getting something good out of it. All right, fifth and final exercise, we're going 2-to-1 ratio on the underhand grip press to squat. So the setup is going to be with the resistance band. They want to stand about feet hip width apart. Quick note, they want to keep slack in between their feet. One of the reasons we go through these freaking bands so much is because they overstretch it at the bottom of the foot, not the top. So they want to have slack in it. So have them do that, and they got 30 seconds set up, so that shouldn't be a problem. Then I'm going to go underhand grip into this setup, so almost like a bicep curl. This is going to be the pressing position, so it's going to be very different. They're not going to be as strong in this as they are the overhand. Elbows nice and tight, squeeze the abs. I'm going to press overhead, try to get the bicep alongside the ears, bring it down. I do 2 presses with 1 squat, and I'll repeat that for that full 60-second work period. And of course, they can do loading progressions on this from yellow all the way up to green if they want to get there. Okay, now for people that are wearing the bracelet for the squat, we just take the squat out of the mix, and they're going to do a 2-to-1 ratio curl to squat. So it's going to be their 2 presses, and we're still in the underhand grip position, 1 underhand curl, and then repeat that. Now for people that have pain in the shoulder, and this is not on the cheat sheet, but if there's presence of pain in the pressing, then what we do is we just take the press out of it, and they will do 2 underhand curls into the squat to curl. So that's not on the cheat sheet, but just take away the part that's painful, and you've got the curl and squat to play with.